Objection!
February 16th, 1:49 p.m. Now then, let's continue with the trial of Mr. Terry Fawls. Witness, are you feeling better? Yes, Your Honor. I'll try my best. You're a brave young lady. Not this again. I can understand a defense lawyer wanting to get her client off the hook. However, to try to pin the crime on the innocent student is... What are you talking about? My witness is not the person on trial here. She's an innocent bystander who witnessed a violent crime, that's all. What possible reason would a girl like this have to for murdering a policewoman? It's certainly hard to imagine this woman as a murderer. Her motive, huh? I figured that's what I had to establish next. Well, Miss Faye, do you have any evidence of motive? Yes, of course. I think. Huh. You're still acting as tame as a kitten. Mr. Armando, listen. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Smiling on the outside while your guts are twisted in knots is a mark of a pro. Maybe so, but I wish you would quit grinning at me like that. Excuse me, may I speak, Mr. Judge? Of course, Mr. Judge is ready at any time you like. I'd like to say something. Some people here are suspicious of me, right? That's why I at least wanted you, Mr. Judge, to know that it's not true. I see. You're such an honest and upstanding young lady. Looks like this witness is a real professional. What do you mean? Look at that 100-watt smile. Just when things are darkest for her, click, she lights right up. Very well then, let's hear what the witness has to say. Oh, Lord. Melissa Foster's history. I was out in the country until a year before last. Until I entered college, I had never been to Eagle Mountain before, and I certainly don't have any reason for wanting to hurt a police officer. Holding a grudge and killing the officer who testified against you 5 years ago, or kidnapping a poor girl. I just think the defendant is terrible, horrible monster. Out of the country, eh? Precisely. Furthermore, she has no possible motive for committing murder. Indeed. You're up to bat, kitten. Sharpen those claws and put on your best smile. You bet. Somehow, I have to tie her to this case. So what country were you living in then? We were all living abroad, but after my parents were killed... It was a brutal civil war. She had to try to make her way back home alone. I lost everything. I didn't even have any personal identification. What kind of sob story is this? What do I do? Should I press on details? I don't know, but yes. Witness, answer my question. I'll even repeat it for you. What country were you in? Your Honor, this line of questioning is childish. What country she was in and how many languages she may speak are irrelevant here. What we're here to evaluate is whether my witness has any connection to this case. I've lived abroad ever since I was a little girl. That's why I could never have known Mr. Fawls or Detective Hawthorne. Yes, I think we've established that point. Yes, indeed. Well then, shall we add what you've just stated to the official testimony? Yes, please, Mr. Judge. I don't like it. Naturally, I didn't know either the victim or the defendant. You didn't know either person, are you certain of that? Yes, I'm afraid I'm rather shy around people. Oh well, that can't be helped. Why is he disagreeing with everything that comes out of her mouth? We could do, can you bark? Poof! Yes, it really was a coincidence. Until I entered college, I had never even been to Eagle Mountain before. Perhaps, but your behavior that day was very suspicious. Not only have you contradicted yourself here in court, but you know things you shouldn't. For example, the scratches on the trunk of the car. Well, that's... Unfortunately, Miss Faye, your last statement proves nothing. Oh, really? And why is that? The witness came to the police station once to identify the suspect. It's entirely possible that at the time an officer showed her this photo. That seems like a rather serious mistake. Huh. That's the oldest trick in the prosecutor's book. But that's not fair. That wicked inmate, I'll never be able to forget that horrible day. A grudge? Well, the policewoman's testimony was crucial, wasn't it? Crucial in getting the defendant sentenced to death. Yes, and that's precisely why he harbored such deep anger against her. So much anger that he forgot his own guilt. My client has always maintained that he's innocent on those charges. He seems rather forgetful. Your client, I mean. Not only did he forget about what he did, but he forgot the poor policewoman as well. What do you mean by that? Your client... He forgot what the detective looked like, right? It's too bad for her that he didn't forget about her testimony as well. Well, she's right about that. You said he forgot what the detective looked like. What do you mean by that? Well, he couldn't tell who she was without some kind of identification, right? Quite right. That's why this victim was wearing a scarf as identification. Why, if I had been wearing a white scarf that day, then he probably would have tried to kill me. That's true. He's clearly a bitter man. This is bad. Mr. Fawls' reputation has been keeping worse and worse. Sometimes it's best not to poke too deep. What should I do? Your Honor, what the witness just said just now was tremendously important. I'd like it added to the official testimony. The prosecution has no objections. After all, the defendant is a killer and a mentally unbalanced one at that. The testimony helps further prove that point. No. That's not what I... An F witness, if you would. My pleasure, Mr. Judge. Hello, devils. Yeah. Though I question if the anime is definitely based in Japan. This game seems to wish-wash of where it actually is. Especially with all the American stuff going on and burgers and... How goes night? Well, it's 4 p.m. It's going well. I'm doing some gaming and then I gotta start prepping for food tomorrow because I have a Friendsgiving and I have lots and lots of food to make. I'm gonna grab it by the balls. I'm gonna squeeze. I'm gonna do it. I guess I'm lucky I wasn't wearing a white scarf. It's true, Mr. Fawls didn't give instructions to Valerie Hawthorne about their meeting. The note that she left said, wear a white scarf for identification. Yes, what about it? Isn't it obvious? Doesn't it strike you as odd? That note was a secret piece of evidence. How is it that witness knows about it? Jamaica! Order. It is odd, isn't it? Oh, Mr. Edgeworth, did you show top secret evidence to the witness? Your Honor, I certainly never gave anyone permission to do such a thing. In that case, the only way the witness... Just a moment. Of course I didn't know about the note. It's just, I saw it when it happened, with my own eyes. When the victim went to see the killer, she used her own scarf to signal him. That's why I assumed the signal was a white scarf. I suppose that makes sense, but it's blue. Come on, Mia, you can't let her weasel out of it that easily. Witness, sorry, but your explanation isn't going to work here. But why? It's true. That's what I saw. Impossible. There's no way you could have seen the victim use a white scarf to signal him. Because it's blue. You've said several times in your testimony that the victim was wearing a scarf. A white scarf, correct? Yes. Is something wrong? That's what I'd like to know, Miss Foster. Have a look at this. It's the victim's scarf. I'm sure people would disagree about what to call this color. However, it certainly is not white. You knew about what the note said. She knew the contents of the note? No. It says wear white scarf for identification. That's the reason why you said it was white. Well, Miss Foster? No! Has she not changed her clothing in years? Order, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm waiting for the explanation. I'm quite sure this note wasn't leaked to the public. And yet, this witness knew exactly what the note said. At the time of the murder, the number of people that knew were quite limited. Terry Fawls is one. The person who wrote the note, Valerie Hawthorne, is another. And finally, one more person. Did you say one more person? That's right, a person that no one would have suspected. Have you figured it out, kitten? Yep. The third person that knew the contents of the note was... And that person is Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne? I've never heard that name before. Look at the victim's note. This is what it says. Talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time. There's her name right there. What's this? So who is this person, this Dahlia Hawthorne? Miss Fay must be desperate if she's trying to bring the dead back to life. The dead? Dahlia Hawthorne was the victim-deceased younger sister. She was killed in a crime 5 years ago. Killed in a crime? You don't mean... Yes, she was kidnapped. Killed by Terry Fawls. Okay. You said she was killed, but was she really? What are you implying? Of course, people thought she had died 5 years ago. When she fell off the Dusky Bridge and was lost in the Eagle River. However, her corpse was never found. She was declared legally dead 5 years ago. As far as the law is concerned, Dahlia Hawthorne is officially dead. But the fact remains that her body was never recovered. Dahlia Hawthorne was 14 years old 5 years ago. If she were still alive, she would be 19 now. Melissa Foster. I believe that's the same age you are. Even you couldn't, Miss Fay, you're not saying. But I am. That's precisely what I'm saying. This witness before us is the girl that was kidnapped and killed 5 years ago. This girl is in fact Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. What? Yes. Ha, nice work. That was like tossing a grenade into a 3-alarm fire. But unless you can tie all those loose ends together, you're nothing but a hit-and-run arsonist. I understand. I get it. If I can expose her true nature, I can turn this whole case on its head. Now is my chance to make Mr. Edward squirm. Witness, just who are you anyway? I didn't think I'd come to this. That's enough. You don't have to say any more, witness. Yes, I understand. What? Mr. Edric, explain yourself. Your Honor, I have an admission to make. I honestly never thought the defense would pursue the matter this far. You don't? You don't mean... Yes, the prosecutor's office isn't filled with fools, you know. Naturally, we conduct full background checks on all our witnesses. But what did he say? Huh. Looks like the kid knew. He knew her true identity from the get-go. No way, but then why? If you hadn't revealed her secret, he wasn't going to say anything about it. All he wanted was her testimony, so he made a little trade. Let me introduce you to the victim's younger sister, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. But I thought she died 5 years ago. We thought so as well, but, well, as you can see... Why did she hide her identity for 5 years? That has nothing to do with the current case. She was merely an accidental witness to a crime. Accidental? I don't believe that for a minute. For the last 5 years, she's been playing the role of victim. And now we find her acting suspiciously at the scene of another murder? Really, Miss Fay, I must say your strategy here is painfully obvious. You're trying to pin your client's crime on an innocent witness in order to win. At any cost. God, my nose itches. How dare you? Please, let us take a moment to think. 5 years ago, this girl was kidnapped and nearly killed. Whatever, even worse than that, 5 years later, Dahlia Hawthorne lost something much more precious, her big sister. Miss Fay must be insane to even suggest that she murdered her. What? I'm inclined to agree with the prosecutor's logic. Miss Fay, do you have any evidence to back up your assertion? What possible reason would this witness have for killing her beloved sister? Well, you see, I thought I was winning. But somehow he's turned it around on me. Huh. I think you need a little push in the right direction, kitten. The defense is prepared to present evidence supporting the claim. Ugh, that wasn't me. It was this guy, this crazy coffee addict. I think we've heard enough empty threats from you, old man. Huh. What makes you think they're empty, boy? Because your protege looks like she's sweating bullets. I am sweating bullets. You think you're in a tough spot, huh? Of course, aren't I? No. You've just arrived at the moment of truth, that's all. Whether you win or lose, that's up to you. Up to me? The rashness of youth, how charming. It's coming from someone younger than me. Now then, let's not waste any more time. Miss Faye, what motive would this witness have for murder? What is this? Is this the defense's idea of a joke? If so, I certainly don't get the punchline well, Miss Faye. Oh, that was the rashness of youth. The rashness of youth? Okay, so it's not that. But it seemed like it would be. The story starts after Terry Fawls escaped. He called Valerie and told her he wanted to meet. This is the note she left. It says, talk to Dahlia. Tell her this time the whole truth must come out. Valerie Hawthorne gave Dahlia a warning. She told her she was going to reveal to the world that the whole truth. The whole truth? What's on the right track? There was a dangerously important secret between Valerie and Dahlia. That's the reason Dahlia felt she had to kill Valerie. To keep her mouth shut permanently. A terrific story, Miss Faye. If you like fiction, that is. Enlighten the court, Miss Faye. What was the secret that was so important? Where's your evidence? Dahlia and Valerie Hawthorne and Terry Fawls. There's only one important secret that connects them all. Oh yes, I know this secret. Your Honor, the defense would like to request further testimony. What testimony? Regarding the kidnapping 5 years ago, we believe it will explain a lot of things, such as the nature of the important secret between the Hawthorne sisters. Ugh. Very well, I'll grant your request for further testimony. I know it'll be painful for you, but you can enlighten us once more, my little maple leaf. Oh, well. It was so disgusting I could barely get it out. Yes, I'll try, Mr. Judge. Putting on the old charm once more, Dahlia. But this time with the last time you hide behind your womanly wiles. "5 years ago, I was kidnapped by Mr. Fawls. The ransom price was a raw diamond. My sister Valerie brought it to the bridge. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Fawls in the arm. That's when Mr. Fawls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I survived, but I was afraid I might be kidnapped again for my family's money. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. The kidnapping left her emotionally scarred. With her sister's help, she left the Hawthorne family and started all over. And we're to believe after that she murdered her sister? Preposterous. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Miss Faye? Yes, Your Honor. As you've heard, the witness is still traumatized from the kidnapping. I'll ask you again to be extremely gentle in your cross-examination. Mr. Edgeworth got the jump on me again. If we're not allowed to fight, then let's twist some arms. Listen up. We've still got that info of that ace up our sleeve. What info? Come on, kitten. Don't say you've forgotten already. The fact that the kidnapping 5 years ago was staged. That's right, it was a fake kidnapping. Terry Fawls told us that in the lobby. I do anything she says. Anything Dahlia says. What you're saying is that the kidnapping 5 years ago was planned by, me and Dahlia. And Valerie, too. Yes, that's it. The fake kidnapping is your best shot, Mia. That's her secret. Oh, joy. Oh, fun. Oh, logic. It's kidnapped by Mr. Fawls. Did you and Mr. Fawls have a relationship? Yes. As a tutor. You were tutoring him, Mr. Fawls? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Fawls came to the house to tutor me. That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. He probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in a jewelry trade and are quite wealthy, you see. Quite the clever fellow, that Mr. Fawls. Did I hear him right? Did he just call Mr. Fawls a clever fellow? Oh, dang it. I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. $2 million? It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk. $2 million pint of milk. I don't know what I have to think about that. The defendant demanded that her sister, Valerie, make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. By the way, I wanted to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think he wanted to make the exchange up there on the mountain? If he ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety. What a wickedly clever man that Mr. Fawls is. Yeah, right, it was all your plan. Anyway, Valley brought the diamond to the mountain, and... That was a dangerous thing to do considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but actually that saved my life. What do you mean? You see, Mr. Fawls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. That's when Mr. Fawls tried to kill me by shoving me off the bridge from behind. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. Well, when Mr. Fawls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try and run away, but Mr. Fawls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. A bloodthirsty grin? Oh. And in the next instant... I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. The crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Then just one little shove from behind. That was it? Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. And that's why you hid your identity? Yes. I only told my sister. Valerie Hawthorne, eh? Yes, she's the only one who knew about me. Meanwhile, legally this witness has been deceased for 5 years. I didn't ever want something like that to happen to me again. So I decided to change my identity and start a new life. And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right? Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of. That makes sense. Without an insider's help, doing all the paperwork would have been impossible. She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could. Somewhat of a truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about the staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know just know how much of a Jezebel she really is. Just got to prove the kidnapping was a hoax. Well, there's a few ways. Yeah. It's going in the way I thought when I kind of... the bridge. 1, 2... Because if she got shoved from behind and she ran past him, she wouldn't be... She couldn't fall in. You say that Mr. Fawls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Fawls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked the court to recall the condition of Dusky Bridge, now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind, as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. But it's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. A small change in water level wouldn't have made a difference. You're right, if the events occurred just as the witness has testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? You see, Just a moment, Your Honor. It's true that the witness testified that the defendant pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's possible that Mr. Fawls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Edward's explanation correct? No. Now that you mention it, I do remember now when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. It seems this phase assault has finally reached its conclusion. Objection! Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of a Mrs. Phase assault. What? I believe your reasoning went something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's possible that Mr. Fawls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court records. Yeah, can't push someone off that. Your Honor, all of the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They are extended up to 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No! But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Fawls had been shot in the right arm. Ah, and more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him, at point-blank range. Ugh. So, Mr. Fawls throwing a witness off the bridge, that is clearly impossible. Ugh.